I think for the person that whoever says it and mean it, if they say that and mean it, then they're blind, and they're totally blind to. I mean, hip hop is innovative. I mean, it's growing, it's evolving, is on. I think the person that says that if they're a musician, and they said they only pissed because they don't know how to evolve with it. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like I look at it like Nick Saban, and when Nick Saban when just like not even Nick Saban, just those old coaches, those great coaches I remember like when the West Coast offense came in, they had a bunch of coaches like that would never work until they adapted it. You know what I mean? And remember like Nick Saban, he was saying, I remember he was like, you don't need a such and such, you don't need a Nick Saban run the ball the whole game and just defense gonna win. And then I don't need a quarterback. All of a sudden, now we know now we know Tua, now we know Jalen Hurts. Nick was saying about just like you have a lot of coaches was hating on the NIL situation. Nick was one of them and all of a sudden he adapted that. Now he one of the biggest, and you know what I mean. It's just you gotta change with it. If you're not, you're gonna end up like Bill Belichick. I mean, it's all about the human being that you are. You know what I mean? Plain and simple. It's all about the individual that you actually are. That's what that goes. That's the card that's played. Plain and simple. If you're a bad person, you're a bad person. You know what I mean? Right. And so moms ain't raised me to be that way. So, like I told you from before I had a daughter, I was raised to respect women a different way just because of my mom. I was raised by my mom and my grandmother. You know what I mean? My grandmother Mercy. So I got her name tatted on me, all on my face. So that's just what it is. I was raised by women, so I treat women totally different. You know what I mean? Also, any woman that I come across that we become a pair, we become an item or whatever, you go do an interview with that woman, and I'm proud to put 9 times out of 10, she won't have a bad thing to say about me, but we're not together.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean?
I never heard nothing bad in a space like that.
I make sure it's that way because of the person who I am. So that's where the relationship with the mothers of my children come in. And also I still thank God every day they're the most important factors of my life wouldn't be a life without them. You know what I mean? So my world still revolves around my kids and my mother, and that's just how it goes. I do, me myself, and the way I run mine, and the way I do my business and my label, and the way I guess I don't want to say teach or whatever, but the way I sculpt an artist, and patience is you need patience, and artists, you know what I mean? Artists to the individual liking. There's music that I've never heard that is number 1 in the country. You know what I mean? So artists to your liking. So I try to make sure that the artist is fully believable in themselves and their art.
Yeah.
And so therefore you're able to handle not rejection, but even handle unacceptability. You know what I mean? You're able to handle that because I accept my art regardless, and I'm that confident in what I do that I already understand that everyone isn't going to even want to hear it or like it or view it or whatever. So once you have that type of confidence in what you're doing, you're going to approach what you're doing different. You're going to approach the art different, and then what you produce should be, and it also has to pass by my ears. When it came Drake and Nicki in them time, that was all organic. You know what I mean? We all met each other. Everybody have their own story, how we met. I met this person this way, I met this person. That was all organic. But as far as nowadays, how it goes, get a collage of artists, because I don't listen to much but myself. So I get a collage of artists, and Mac may bring me a whole bunch of artists and let me hear I'm going to listen to if I see something I could work, it ain't about if I like it. There could be something that I hate. If I hear something in that I think I could work with this person, and it's almost like seeing a bad player on a good team. A good player on a bad team.
I get what you're saying.
You know what I mean? He's sucking because of this and this and that. I could take him on. You always be like, man, what if that player played on that team, though? Right. That type of thing. So when I hear an artist, I'm trying to see that. And then also, the artist has to be passionate about what they do. You know what I mean? It has to be nothing else. They have to love it the way I love it or more. And so that's so rare to find. And I know how rare it is to find that in a person, to be that way about this, the way I was saying Skip is about sports and things like to find that these days, because it's not these days, it's so generic. You know what I mean? So like, I rap. Why you rap? Or why you want to rap? Or why you want to do music?
Money.
You know, exactly. You should never have an answer. I mean, you should never have an answer. Oh man, I've been waiting for that. You know, me and Skip cool as hell. Like we're cool. We talk almost every day, almost every night. You know what I mean? He takes sports so serious, like totally. I mean, I guess the way me and this man would take how you look at it, we would take music. That's how he takes sports, and sometimes you think like, you know, to us the music coming from here, so that's why we do it all day, 24/7. And it's so serious to us. We die behind it, we cry behind it.
It's a baby.
You be like, you know how much I love sports. You be like, but damn, that's how he feel about sports, if not more. You know what I mean? So just to know that, you know what I mean, when you see him, you find out, you get to know him, and you know, like, that's real. He really loves sports like this. And so, man, we indulge in conversations, and of course, they turn into life conversations. You know, that guy got a bunch of wisdom. He could just pour into me about life. You know, he on TV every day talking about sports. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But this guy, you sit down, you know what I mean? Imagine if he was talking to him. We don't know what he feel about life. I do. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that right there, that's the relationship. But as far as how I feel to be on every Friday or whatever the theme song, I thank God every day for that, first of all. And you already know, every television in the house is on there every morning.
That's lit.
What? And then if we're in the studio working, which I usually am, the TV gonna be on there. I think what Brian is you get to a point, obviously, with experience and thank God with success and failure, you get to a point where you understand that, okay, retirement means something different. I don't care what it means to whoever's saying it. It means something different to me. You know, and so with that I think LeBron's gonna understand that obviously he plays a sport. You can't do that forever. But then there's his son. And there's other son. There's a daughter. Then there's also just his agency. Then there's also the opportunity to you got the commissioner or whatever, they're already making jokes about, I'm sorry I couldn't give him a franchise. That means he's gonna have a franchise. You know, so what I mean by that is, and that's gonna take on something totally that's gonna require more of him, and he's gonna approach it the way he approach everything. And there it is. He's not retired.
Yeah.
And he's still doing it. And obviously, I did the same. You know, I remember I never even saw myself even having a label and no such thing as artist with me. I looked at it like, no, whoever the label is, whoever the artist is, I'm gonna bite your head off. I'm the best. And all of a sudden, Young Money. And all of a sudden, there's a Drake and there's a Nicki and there's Tigers and this thing. You know what I mean? So, and I never, but it's because I approached it that way. The reason why Young Money became what it was. You know what I mean? Because I can honestly tell you, I was just ready to eat your Young Money up.
Yep.
Until times change.
Yeah.
Things change.